So there was an Insomniac leak, and things don't look really good for the company, uh, especially because the consumers don't seem to be very pleased with what's in there. But one of the things that really drawn my attention is just how obscenely expensive games are to make. I mean, we got like what, $312 million for a 17-hour swing game. It just doesn't make any sense. And this is why, if you look at the new Wolverine game, like I can't show it to you on YouTube because I'm pretty sure like they're taking it down if you show any leaked gameplay from it. It looks like Batman Arkham Asylum. Like it has Wolverine sneaking around and having the drop down on people, and I'm thinking like, that's not what a Wolverine is. Like with Wolverine, you deploy him in a combat situation, and he goes all out and takes down the bad guy. Like that's what Wolverine is supposed to be. He's invincible. He doesn't die, and it's like the whole thing is like he's like an animal, right? But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because they don't want risky things. And then it's like, okay, well, Batman Arkham Asylum sold. So we're just going to make that game, and we're going to add the skin of Wolverine to it, and we're going to hire Sweet Baby to make a very sanitized story, and we're going to spend like $300 million on it. And no wonder games are so bland when this is the mindset. It's not video games anymore. It's not art. It's not creation. It's dataism. It's like, what is the data? You know, show me the percentages. Like how many people liked Arkham Asylum? Well, if we do that, if we copy that, we're going to get like the same number of people, won't we? And we need to appeal to the wider audience. Like, let's appeal to the women. What do women like? Oh, women like to see androgyny. Like let's have androgyny. Let's have body type A, body type B, appeal to the California population. And if you appeal to the California population, the people in China and Romania will like it as well. Because California is so beloved around the world. Like, you know, it only brings puppies and kittens in people's thoughts when they think about the Scat Francisco. But all jokes aside, like, I as a game developer don't fucking understand this, chat. Like, I genuinely do not understand this. I have a fellow game developer, like from another indie game. And I'll probably talk about his game when it's closer to release, but it looks like a AAA game, which came out 5 years ago. Like, it looks so fucking good. And I'm like, how are you pulling this off? Like, it looks better than Mass Effect 3, I'm not going to kid. And he told me that he has a small team, but he doesn't do like the whole corpo bullshit, right? He doesn't have like the plump HR lady, because the plump HR lady, she needs nourishment. She needs to feed. And she feeds on the company's resources. Like, unironically, Harvard, you guys know the Harvard institution, right? It's been under a microscope lately. And people notice that the diversity officers, like the pillars of the academia, the most important cogs in the machine, there's more than 10 of them, and all of them are paid around $300,000. And it's like, it adds up, doesn't it? Like, it just adds up. And that's like just the diversity officers alone. Because you have like other people which the company can't run without, you know, middle management, the HR lady, the marketing team. And it ends up like the Twitter project, where you have one person that's actually coding and is actually doing a job. And from the prestige standpoint, he is at the bottom. And on top of him is like 10 other people, usually wineouts, that are looming over him and making sure that he is being supervised. And that's why you end up like having a video game which looks like an expansion pack to the previous, and it's $312 million. Like, this is insane. I am willing to say, okay, well, fine, you know, like, this one was post PS4, and now they had to make it for PS5, so they have to maybe use another engine. I don't know, but there's no way it's more than triple the cost. I was like, it's 5 times more, isn't it? Oh my god, it's 6 times more. My math is bad, but yeah. So you're paying like 6 times. Like, at this point, when the cost is this ridiculous, I wouldn't even make Spider-Man 2. I would just make something else. I'd be like, okay, so if we're going to make this game, should we spend $300 million? No. Like, make something else. Make, I don't know, Why does it even have to be a brand IP though? Why can't you make something new? And this is the problem, right? Like, look at this. All of them are part of the same IPs. They're not creating anything new. Like, you're not going to see a game like, even Warcraft 3. I mean, it still had the name Warcraft. But it was like, okay, let's make a strategy game and let's add role-playing elements in it because no one did that. Like, we're going to have the heroes, and the heroes are like in an RPG, and they get to pick up items, and they level up, and they have different skills and talent trees. And then you have, like, the units that would mimic the strategy game, but, like, it's a new thing. You're never going to get that again. Like, that level of creativity is fucking dead. Every single video game now looks like Assassin's Creed. Every single video game, like even God of War, kind of looks like it's got similar stuff to Assassin's Creed. Like, what do I mean by this? Well, you got a map, right? Open world. You move around the open world. You go from place to place where you start a mission, you start a quest or whatever. And then as you kill enemies, you gain experience. You level up. You have like a talent tree. You have some crafting system where you upgrade your gear. The game is played usually in a third person. And there's a lot of talking and cutscenes, okay? Isn't this like almost all the other games though? Like what I described, the way that God of War is played, isn't it like kind of similar to all the other games with small modifications? And this is the problem that I'm talking about. Like there's no creativity. Now they claim that the games made a profit. I don't know. I mean, did they? Again, like when you cost $312 million to make a game, is it going to make $400 million in returns? Who knows? I mean, I don't know what the business deals they also have with merchandise and like if they're selling keychains with this, if they're selling T-shirts, if they're selling hats. Because there's other ways you can make money, but I don't know, man. Like to me, this looks like a dead industry. Like, unironically, it's the same thing. And as you can see, this is why they keep having to do, like, remasters and shit. Like, the game is out, and 2 years later, oh, we're doing a remaster. It's because they want to make more money. Like, they have to milk it. If it costs $300 million to make, you have to constantly milk it in order to make it profitable. So, it's going to turn to the point where a game is released, like Spider-Man 3 comes out in January, and by December, they're going to make Spider-Man 3 Remaster. I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case. Not ironically, like, it used to be that a game or a movie had to be at least 10 years old to justify making a remaster or to do a reboot. But now the game is barely out. And they're like, yeah, we're remastering. I mean, they're already doing a remaster for The Last of Us Part 2. Did you notice that? Yeah. They're like, oh, we're going to make a remaster for Last of Us. Jesus fucking Christ, like that one is so fresh in my memory. Like I remember that I streamed it. It was like, what, like 2 or 3 years ago? I mean, time flies fast, Maybe I'm wrong, but it is what it is. And it's interesting that people on Twitter are defending this. Like, this is the type of industry that they love, I guess. Like, unironically, the only reason you defend this is because you didn't grow up in the 90s. Had you grown back in my day with the video games that I made, maybe you'd have been a little bit spoiled and you'd demand more. Because unironically, this is unacceptable. And it doesn't have to be this way. Like, games shouldn't be this expensive to make. Like, look, the video game that I'm making right now, like, once the coding is done, all you need, like you have the engine, which is the, like in the case of me, it's like already available. But like, once you have the coding for the world, and you have like your world crafted, with different assets, like different animations and different maps and stuff, you can just make like a new game in half the time with half the cost. So it doesn't justify, like, when I'm seeing this, it's an abomination, it's an atrocity. There's no reason for this to exist. But anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.